What is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking one comic book character, as we do every single week. We talk to good points and their bad points, and we just generally give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Mead. Shaun, how is it going?
Oh, I'm excellent, Connor. I'm hot off the success of my my Man Thing report last week. Excuse me.
I'll tell you something, that is after a lot of people have messaged to say that was a good report, and I was thinking, sitting there going, Man Thing shit. Swamp Thing's where it's at. What are they doing? But look,
who'd win the fight? A man or a well, actually, the origin story of Man Thing
Swamp all the time.
really answers that question for me.
So look, here's the thing. This week, I was eyeing up doing Swamp Thing. I'll have to admit to you.
That's where I expected it.
I didn't want to go too similar. And so what I've done this week is, we should mention that I normally do Marvel characters. Shaun normally does DC characters.
Other way around.
No, never mind. I'm going to do DC characters. Shaun normally does Marvel characters. They're all the same, Shaun. It's all comic books.
All comic books are made up.
They're all fictional. It's fine. Right?
What if we liked both?
Shut up. Pick a side. But here's the thing. What I'm doing this week is a very interesting character that is definitely going to get no downloads because nobody knows who she is.
Interesting.
But it's one of the most interesting stories I could find because I'm going to try a little experiment here.
Oh.
We're doing a DC character, a villain, who has only ever appeared in one Superman comic in her whole run.
Interesting.
And yet is the most powerful character in all of DC.
Jesus. Okay. Can I throw a wild guess out there?
Go for it.
Is it the Queen of Fables?
It is not the Queen of Fables. This is a character that I couldn't find. Normally for these shows I do a bit of research. I might watch a few videos, get the pronunciation down because you don't want to look silly. Yeah. I couldn't find any video on this character.
This is a gamble. Okay.
This is fully all in. This is a character that I just remember reading a comic book of this. I've just read this one issue and I thought it was very cool. And I've always kind of wanted to do the report, but at the same time I was like, nobody's going to listen. We should probably wait until some people tune in every week.
But if Man Thing can work, this can work.
But if Man Thing can work, anything can fucking work. Because this week we are doing a character called, this pronunciation, Cythonna?
Okay.
Whose one appearance was in 1999 in a comic book called Superman, the Last God of Krypton.
Okay. So, back in the day, but not too far back.
So, like, just around the millennium. It was her one and only appearance. Now, she was created by Walt Simonson and Greg and Tim Hildebrand. And what's interesting about Cythonna is the fact that she's one of the first gods of Krypton. So,
okay.
To try and put this into perspective, so Superman to DC, whatever, to people who in that universe, he's a god.
Okay.
And he's from Krypton. She is a god of Krypton.
Oh, so she's above because if Superman was on Krypton, he'd just be a regular man for all intents and purposes.
So she's a god on Krypton.
So if she comes to Earth.
Oh no, Shaun. Oh no.
Oh no.
So, she is the goddess of ice. Now, what's interesting is that Krypton was, in the comic books, the story goes that it was made through a series of gods. There was a whole bunch of them. And Cythonna was the only one who was she was a bit evil. She was a bit...
little sprinkling of evil in there.
A little ditzy sprinkle of evil. Unlike some of her brethren, Cythonna was an evil entity that hailed from the furthest regions of frozen blackness, bearing a hatred for all that was warm and full of light, Shaun.
Wow.
She, alone of all the gods, could not bear any children, but she could make monsters made of ice that just destroyed things. So, I mean, same diff.
Okay, instantly I'm getting like kind of Loki Norse mythology vibes. So
It's kind of along those lines. So she brought not only cold, but fear, despair, and death to everywhere she went.
holy shit, man.
Yes. So she's basically Hades.
Yeah, she's James Woods' Hades.
James Woods. Don't be James Woods.
Don't no one, please don't be James Woods.
He's really lived up to that Hades moniker. So,
He made Hades look like the good guy.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, let's hear him out. So, at the time of her arrival to Krypton, Cythonna spoke to the sun god. And I'm going to mispronounce his name, but it's Rao, I think it's pronounced. And basically, Rao was like the head god. So he's the big don.
He's
right?
the Zeus.
He's the Zeus. And he's the sun god. And of course, sun on Krypton, very important. So Cythonna goes immediately up to him when she arrives. Because you have all these gods here, and she's kind of like the odd one out. But she walks straight up to the main god. And she basically tells him that she wants to marry him. She wants the two of them to be together as gods, because she thinks like we'll be the most powerful couple ever. Like, you are the lord of everything that's good and the light. And she's like, she's not saying that she's evil, but she's like, we're going to be like so in love. We'll be the best couple ever.
Yeah, we'll have both sides covered.
However, Rouse saw through her heart and learned that she knew nothing of love, and that she only sought to mate with him in order to birth monsters that would corrupt the light, and thus rejected her. She didn't take this kindly, Shaun. And this infuriated her, and she incited a war between her and Rao. Now remember, this is one issue. This all comes out.
There's a lot going on. How many pages are we talking?
It's a big issue. So this started a massive war that Game of Thrones would be very pleased with, because the war was called the Wars of Ice and Fire. Now, while Cythonna was strong, the powers of the gods, of course, she had all of the gods against her.
Yeah, bit outnumbered, I would say.
Ultimately, she was defeated when it was like 10 against 1. And the Kryptonian gods passed judgment upon her, basically saying that they were incapable of killing her. So instead, she was exiled and banished into a void beyond the borders of existence. So she was just gotten rid of because she was too powerful to kill. So they couldn't do anything with her. They had just trapped her.
Somewhere where she could just cause no trouble.
Yeah, and basically they said, as long as we're around, you are trapped and you'll never be allowed to do anything. As long as we're around,
sometimes
Kryptonian
foreshadowing is obvious.
As long as we're here, as we're alive right now, I can't see that changing. You're trapped, lady, right? That's what they're saying to her.
Okay, and that's the end of the comic.
So she remained in great darkness of the void. And while she was there, Shaun, she just had a little thing to herself. She gathered the souls of the unforgiving dead and vowed that if the power of the gods ever weakened, that she would return to get vengeance and finish the war, Shaun.
Oh no. That's... See what she's doing? So she just has infinite time to plot her revenge, is what you're saying.
Well, I would say a few years later. So a few years later, Shaun, now by a few I mean it could be millennium, like it could be thousands, billions, we don't know.
Of course.
But a few years later, something happened to Krypton, and, you know, it didn't go very well.
Right. What, and what, is this a big comic thing that I should know about?
Well, Krypton was destroyed, yes.
Oh no.
But just before they got destroyed, they sent off a little baby in a ship.
Good.
And also his cousin in a different ship, but we don't talk about that for another few years. So just this one baby in a ship.
One baby, one survivor from Krypton.
Went to Earth. Ma and Pa Kent turned up. It was a whole thing.
The Kents, of course.
The Kents got caught in a tornado. But during all this, what's kind of forgotten is the gods were all killed, Shaun. And with that, Jesus, the exile just suddenly lifts, and she escapes. And she's like, what's happened? So she goes back to Krypton.
Yeah.
And she sees all of the scars on the surface and the fact that it was basically destroyed. And I mean, she's very confused. She breaks free from her prison and she's like, did I win? Like, she thinks that she did it. And she's like, oh, I must have won. Like, I'm the most powerful being in the universe. I've destroyed all of the gods. I'm now the head god of this universe.
Yeah, she's the only one left, but yeah.
I'm the only one. I've defeated Krypton, she thinks. I'm the only one left. But then she senses a trace. One life force.
Oh, no.
Across the universe. Tied directly to Rao? I think it's Rao himself. The only life force, like a tiny blinking dot across the whole universe. And she's like, what the fuck is that? I'm going to go find it and eliminate the last remnant of Krypton.
But that's our boy Clarke, I think, Connor.
That's Pa and Ma Kent's son. He's busy.
Simple farm boy Clarke Kent.
So her mission led her to Earth, Shaun. And so 5 days later, there's a strange weather change in Metropolis, where it starts snowing. Although it is in the middle of July, so that's extra strange.
Bit odd.
Clarke immediately changes into Superman because he's like, what the fuck is going on? And little Jimmy Olsen spots something heading towards them. The alien woman bursts through the window of the Daily Planet. She starts shouting in Kryptonese, so Superman confronts her. The woman encases Superman in ice, but he breaks free, much to the woman's amazement that he is still alive. She then realises that he is no ordinary Kryptonian. She tells him her name is Cythonna and decides that he must be the new Rao. He must be the new Rao. So
the new
like,
sun god kind of thing.
Me and you, now we can get together. You know what I mean? And so they will be the most powerful couple in the world.
Okay.
But Superman doesn't take to this kindly, so he goes to attack her. She backhands Superman nonchalantly, knocks him on his ass.
Fuck me.
And he can't get up. He can barely stand up. She just backhands him. And he can't stand up, Shaun.
Stakes set, I would say, is what they did there.
She tells him to meet her in 1 hour and flies off without a trace. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor caught the news of Cythonna's appearance and decides to form an alliance with her almost immediately.
I love how Lex just takes advantage. He's just like, oh, this is good for me? Yeah, this is good for me.
When he confronts her, remember, this is a god. Cythonna declines his offer and basically is like, why would I need you? Do you not know who I am?
You're just a regular human.
I'm the only god left. And she makes him get on his knees to worship her. Luthor then, as he's embarrassed, gets into his limo and drives off, leaving his henchmen stunned under her control. So he's just like, okay, I'm out of here, fuck this.
I didn't like that.
Superman takes Lois to the Fortress of Solitude to keep her safe, as in like, you stay here, I'm gonna go fight.
So he took her to the ice-based palace.
Yeah. This is only the goddess of ice, though. She's never going to figure that out.
Sometimes foreshadowing is obvious.
Actually, that doesn't come into it.
What is it not? God, these writers in 99.
They look up. I like how this next plot point is they look her up on his computer in the fortress. I don't think that makes any sense, but it's comic books. We're just going to go with it.
Just Google.
He looks her up on his. He just gave her a Bing. In 99, which took 90 years, I can only assume, to come up with something.
It's loading.
The whole world on fire. Any minute now, I'll know her history.
Just go make a cup of tea while you're waiting.
So it's revealed, of course, that she was a Kryptonian god and an ice elemental associated with fear, despair, and death. And so he's learning all of this, and she's been caught in a pocket dimension. And now she's come to Earth. And so what happens is Lex Luthor, Superman and Lois are still in the fortress. He's looking all this up. Then he looks at the TV. He's got very technologically advanced in the Fortress of Solitude, just for this story.
After this, it goes back to like a fucking typewriter and a telegraph. With his little glasses and his 1960s journalistic integrity.
Superman sees on the TV Lex Luthor has put out a special news bulletin, and he's asking to meet Superman urgently. I need to meet you. Superman takes off, leaving Lois in the safety of the Fortress of Solitude. He's like, okay, you stay here, I gotta go deal with some shit. Superman flies to Luthor's office, and Luthor tells Superman that he wants to get rid of Cythonna immediately. Superman's
Lex, why do you feel so strongly about it? No reason. No reason at all.
But you want to get rid of her. I don't like her. I like the devil I know rather than the devil I don't. And you're the only one powerful enough to kill her. So I'm with you, bud. Me and you.
I want you to kill her, Superman.
Me and you, best pals. We're always best pals.
Big team.
And he gives him an indestructible Magna Weave caisson of kryptonite. So what he's given him is like this ultra weapon to use against her. To be like, kill her with this.
But does that not affect Superman as well at the same time?
I think it's lined in a way that it doesn't affect him unless it affects only the person that it hits more. So right. I think you throw it or you fire it. It's one of the two. Luthor wishes Superman good luck as he flies off to meet her, Shaun.
Okay. So Lex is just going to take credit for this whole thing by the end, I imagine.
You do know, like, how bizarre a world this comic book is that Lex Luthor's like, go on, Superman.
Yeah, go, save the day.
Superman meets Cythonna and she immediately is like, we should be together. Like, did you not hear me? You're the most powerful, I'm the most powerful. We can rule this whole fucking planet. If we just stick together.
She really has like one pickup line, doesn't she?
She's doing the Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1 to Peter on the roof. Like, we should join together
with our forces.
And she kisses him, but within the kiss, she tastes his mortality and realizes that he is not a god, but is in fact just a regular Kryptonian who's come here that they treat as a god.
My goodness.
And she's not a big fan of this, Shaun. And so they begin to battle. And within the battle, Superman actually tells her his name is Kal-El as well, which makes her even more outraged, and he's like a commoner. And so what I will say is not much of a battle. It's more her kicking the absolute living shit out of Superman without breaking one sweat.
Some punches.
Not even punches. I would just say she's kicking him until he can't breathe. It's like if Superman was fighting a regular human, but the other way around.
Wow. That's grim.
Yeah. And so Superman is getting the shit kicked out of him. And it seems that Superman's fairly defeated. And just before she's about to kill him, he pushes her away and he flees into outer space. And he's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. She's gonna kill me. I'm fighting a god. And he flies directly towards... Where does he fly, Shaun?
Jupiter.
Not the sun, Shaun. Always the sun. Because that powers him up. Have you ever seen Superman Returns? Brandon Routh flew straight to the sun. He did
actually. The actor flew straight into the sun.
Straight to the sun. He's a very hot man. That's what you said to me. That's what he deserves to be.
Yeah.
Superman lures her towards the sun, where he's of course rejuvenated by the sunlight. And since the sun is the universal opposite of what she is,
of course,
it weakens her, making her a little closer. So Superman has gone Ultra Saiyan. Like he's got like mega. This is the most powerful he could be. He's sitting on the sun, and she's at her weakest
by the sun.
So she is, of course, the goddess of ice. So that brings her down just enough that they can have a slightly more even battle. Like, she's still more powerful, but it's still enough that he can put up a fight. So what happens is then she shows Superman her true form, and she actually starts to kill him as the cold envelops his body. She basically just starts trying to kill him right then and there.
Right.
It all seems lost, Shaun, and this is something that you're not going to like, but this is what happens in the comic book. Lois Lane appears in a Kryptonian battlesuit that she found in the Fortress of Solitude in space at the sun.
So regular human Lois Lane
has
gotten into a Kryptonian battlesuit
Yeah.
And flown to the sun.
That's the one bit of the story that's not cool, and I'm hoping we just bypass it.
I'm willing to let it go, but I need like a free pass in the future for one weird thing to happen.
Fine, I'm giving you man thing. There's your free pass, right? So the battles, what happens is she's about to kill Superman. Lois turns up and basically pushes her away from him, like, get the fuck off him. That distracts her. It gives Superman the 1 second she needs, and just as Cythonna begins to charge at Lois, Superman throws the kryptonite that Lex gave him at her. It hits her, and she is shot into the core of the sun, where she is trapped forever in the core of the sun. And that is how Superman defeated the goddess of ice. That's a god on Krypton. He fired her into the fucking sun, Shaun.
He turned the sun into like a jail cell for her. So
he basically threw her into the sun. Yeah, she's trapped in the sun.
So for the next comic book story, there's just a Kryptonian god living in the sun.
Well, she's trapped in the sun. Yeah.
How does Superman reconcile himself with? Yeah, like he's sentenced. A sentient being.
She was going to kill him.
She was
going to kill him, and I think the previous gods trapped her in a different area, so I think he just sees it as he's trapping her somewhere else.
But would you rather be trapped in an endless void of nothingness, or in the fiery ball of the sun when your main gimmick is ice?
I mean, yeah, it's a difficult choice. I think both are pretty bad.
Both are pretty bad, but one of them you're burning all the time. You know?
Now, but in terms of powers and abilities, that's just the story. That's her one arc that she came in. She turns up. She's the most powerful being in the whole universe. And then
Lois Lane defeats her.
It takes Superman, Lois, and Lex working together to defeat her. Because Superman wouldn't have won without Lex Luthor, which is just something I quite like. So in terms of powers and abilities, Cythonna is by far one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, if not the most powerful. So her appearance was short-lived, but she's unmatched. She has omni-strength, omni-durability, omni-speed, omni-ice manipulation, omni-telepathy, among various other almighty powers. She has unmatched strength. Nobody can defeat her at anything.
Unless you cheat.
Unless you cheat, fly her to the sun and hit her with some kryptonite. That is the only way she can be. They say that her one weakness is the fact that she just thinks she's amazing. So you can kind of trick
Arrogance, yeah. Anytime there's like a god-level character, arrogance is always their weakness.
She is faster than Superman and can survive in space unaided by anything. On their first encounter, she used a single backhand and almost knocked Superman out. It was so strong that he was unable to rise to his feet to chase her when she flew away after the backhand.
That's a really cool comic panel, I imagine.
Just backhand the shit out of him. Like, the lack of respect.
Yeah, like not even worth the fight.
And it was just like a casual one as well. And after this, Superman actually expresses to Lois that he's scared because her blow was so strong and she didn't even try. He's like, I've fought Darkseid, I've fought like all these lads, and I've fought Doomsday, but she just won backhand. And like, with Darkseid, he can fight Darkseid or Doomsday, and like, they can punch until he wins.
But he's never been like properly outmatched like that.
Just straight up, like, there's not a hope of him winning, no matter how much he tries to punch. Like, he's gonna lose. And so, while flying with Lois in his arms after the first encounter, Lois is like, I've never been so worried. And he's just like, she's a telepath. She has strength beyond anything I've ever encountered, and I don't have a hope of winning, basically.
Fucking hell. But it's fine. I'll be grand.
This is also shown in the fact that it took 10 gods on the original Kryptonian planet to defeat her. So she's as powerful as 9 of them, I would say.
Yeah, if it was 9, they hadn't a hope. But it was fucking the god of, I don't know, speed probably got her.
Yeah, so other than her She's got superhuman strength, superhuman speed, invulnerability. I mean, she can't be harmed by any physical or mental forces whatsoever.
Pretty good.
She can only be hurt by kryptonite when she's at the sun. So, very specific time to hit her.
The wind conditions on that are insane.
You have to get her to the sun and then somehow hit her at the sun with kryptonite. She's, of course, has reflexes that are superhuman. Imagine she had like shit reflexes. Telepathy, superhuman agility, metamorphosis, immortality, and self-sustenance.
Right. All pretty
Still
good.
alive in the sun.
Still alive till the end of time, till the sun explodes.
Yeah, she can't be killed.
She can't be killed. She doesn't need food or water.
This was a very interesting report to do research on, because she's only appeared in one issue, but it's a character that literally came and everyone was like, this is the most powerful being ever. She loses in her first issue and she's never seen again. That's quite a weird concept to come to terms with. But I guess when you have a character that powerful, like, you need them just locked away forever, because otherwise there's no hope for anyone, surely. Yeah, I think it's like the same lines of Galactus in Marvel. Like, you can't use Galactus all the time.
Yeah, and it loses its weight if you use it all the time.
Like, he's eating worlds. Like, she could just defeat Superman in it, like, without even thinking about it.
Yeah, and with Galactus, the thing is, like, you can't just, like, fight him. You have to pull out some bullshit at the end to, like, trick him or make a deal or have an agreement or something. Whereas, like, with this, it's like, yeah, you have to get her fucking right beside the sun, have someone else distract her, and then you stab her with kryptonite that your worst enemy gifted you.
I think my favourite part of this is, like, you did the Sentry a few weeks ago. I don't think anyone is going to know this character unless you read this one comic book.
Yeah,
like,
that's even more obscure. Like,
it's so obscure, but it's also just the comic book panel alone, that we're always like, oh, Superman's a god. Like, Superman could take all the Avengers, like, at once. Like, he's so fucking powerful. Debatable. And then, I mean, other than Thor, but then, like, she turns up and she's like, yeah, I could defeat all of the Justice League and all the Avengers and basically everyone in both universes at once.
I could destroy the planet.
If you want, like, it's fine. So that's my report, Shaun, on Cythonna. I mean, interesting, but also a bit overpowered, would you say?
Yeah, it sounds like, I think interesting but overpowered is the word for it. Like, it's
Superman's God.
It's like, you know, if you were in a video game and you had the boss at the start that you were meant to lose to, like, there's no way you can win, and then over the course of the game you have to fight, you know, build up to fighting them again. It's like she always stays at the first stage.
Yeah, the first level. You can never get to the point where I'm on level 100. I'm now on level 50,000. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I'm level 100. No, you're not. Not anymore.
You're back to 1. Sorry. She's like, the Dark Souls of villains.
She's the Dark Souls of comic book characters. That's true. That's, like, for a character in one issue, I really like this character. I think she's broken.
And I could definitely recommend just reading that issue, just because the art as well is gorgeous in it. It's just a really good Superman comic book. I just think it's really cool just watching Superman be on the back foot, because he's never on the back foot in terms of fighting.
Yeah, like if it's magic or, you know, brains, yeah, maybe. But on fighting, it's weird for him to have a threat. Well done, Connor.
Thank you.
Top marks, I would say. I would say that's an equivalent report to Man-Thing.
Oh, come on, that's a disgrace.
No,
I think that's an insult.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'm very proud. Would you like me to take us out, Connor?
Yes, please.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Hero or Zero. We'll be back on Monday with Movie Mondays, Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, and next Friday with another episode of Hero or Zero. Big thanks to everyone who supports the show over on Patreon, patreon.com/Heroes for Hire podcast. Head on over there, you get movie reviews, TV show reviews, whole host of stuff. Other ways you can support the show, you can shop at our merch store, link below. Twitter, we're at Heroes for Hire Pod, the 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire podcast. But the best way you can ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I have been Conor Lawler.
I have been a Kryptonian god.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Or will we?
Bye.
Bye.